Alright guys, let's make another video. Let's answer some of your questions. Okay, this video is gonna be a continuation of last video that we made a couple days ago. There was a lot of good comments. I wanna focus in one from Otmar Evanhoek. I hope I'm not completely butchering his last name. If you don't know who Omar is, he is the creator of the Zilla line of controllers. Today, it might actually be the only controller that's available at those power levels, you know, at the 1000, 2000, and I think maybe he's got like a 4000. All the current EVs that are breaking records right now actually use Zilla controllers, like the Zombie 222 uses it. And so he commented here in this channel, it says, this was a great demonstration of actually testing things to see what happens. All right, so Omar is basically saying there is gonna be some inefficiencies in the way that I did it. I used this cheapy little meter here, and of course some of the energy was actually gonna be lost in this tiny skinny little leads. It's pretty far apart when you're talking about 3-4 amps. And he measured his, which is pretty similar to this. Is not same brand, is not, but you know, it's probably ballpark. And so whatever measurement I had yesterday, which about 2.6, 2.7 amps, I think, with 4 cells dumping into a one empty cell, then I should probably add about 20% because of the inefficiency of the setup that I had, right? And so that's pretty easy to understand, and he knows what he's talking about, and yeah, he's probably right. It's probably about 20% higher than what I actually saw. So today, I got a new little gadget that is gonna help me figure, maybe not perfect, but do it a little bit better than what this one did. So let's check that out today. I got me one of these little guys. These are available on eBay. They're pretty cheap. I think I paid $3 for it. And this is basically just a shunt in a little circuit with the interface here with the little LCD that basically measures voltage, amperage, and then it also measures resistance. You put the leads on one side, then you put your load on the other one, and then measures. And here's the cool thing about this thing. This will work for one cell from like 2.8 volts all the way to 30 volts. And you get and it's adjustable with using a single button. I've set it up to 3 volts on the low end and 4.2 volts on the high end. But today we're actually going to use it to check the voltage and the load that a one empty battery is gonna put on the fully charged battery. So I have it connected here, fully charged battery, fully empty cell. All right, let's do it. One cell, recording. Ooh, 1.6 amps. All right, freshly discharged. Let's see if we get a different result than we did the other day. Okay, 4 freshly charged cells, 1 discharged cell. Let's see how much we get. Ooh, 3.2 amps. What do you know, Otmar? You were right. 1.3 ohms. And this goes down to 4 volts. Okay, now let's take it further. Let's do another 4 cells. All right, 8 cells. 4 plus 4, all dumping their power into this single cell. Let's see. Ooh, 3.9, almost 4 amps. 1.28 ohms. Okay, and after about a minute, 2.9. Okay, so I think it's safe to say that yes, the more batteries I keep adding, probably the more the higher the amperage is that is gonna go into that cell, right? It's about 4 amps with 8 cells. So if I were to add another 8 to make it 16, by my rough calculations, adding 16 fully charged cells into one fully depleted cell, it would be right just under 5 amps. And it would only be 5 amps for maybe about 10 minutes, and then it would drop down to probably about 2.5 amps. That's where it's at right now after 2 minutes with 4 cells, 2.5 amps. Okay, so the big question is it safe to charge 16 cells in parallel like I suggested people do so they can charge them at 5 amps? Here's the answer. Yes, it is completely safe. The reason is because what I'm suggesting people to do is to crack open a bunch of dead laptop batteries that you found or bought or whatever. Take all the cells, put them aside, put 16 of them in holders like this. Now, how many of those do you think are going to be fully charged, 4.2 volt? Okay, I maybe out of 100, maybe 1, 2 cells, maybe? I'm speaking from experience. I actually have done this. The scenario where 16 or 15 cells are fully charged and then one is like completely empty down to 3 volts, it's astronomically low. It's more likely that most of the batteries are going to be either fully discharged at around the 3 volts and maybe some even lower than that. Maybe a few are going to be around 3.7 volts, right? And so because the odds of the scenario where maybe about 5 amps are going to be dumped into a single battery are so low, I'd say that it's pretty safe for you to charge cells this way. At 2.2 amps, we actually tested this 2 days ago. There's like absolutely zero heat. So if you got healthy batteries, then there's not gonna be any heat. They're all gonna be charged. The 5 amps that the charger is going to be dumping into this group of cells is going to be distributed evenly among all the cells. And so that's why it's actually pretty safe to do it. And so I think when you're looking at a project like this, it is very, very important for you to not lose track of the overall picture of the whole thing. We can dive in here and dig deep and get specialized equipment to see just exactly how much load and how much current is being dumped into this cell. But you got to ask yourself if that is the aim. If you're just doing this just to do experiments, just to try to learn, then yeah, by all means, go ahead and do it. We have a very specific agenda. We have a very specific target here. We have a very specific project that we're trying to do. We're trying to charge as many batteries as possible at the same time, without spending a whole bunch of money, and then doing it relatively safely so that you don't burn your house down, but you don't have to buy a bunch of like specialized equipment. And so under those conditions and with that target in mind, charging 16 cells all at once in parallel with a $20 knockoff IMAX B6 charger set at maximum 5 amps, I'd say it's pretty safe. It's pretty safe for you. It's pretty safe for the cells. If one of the cells is bad, which you are gonna get some that are gonna be bad, it's gonna take a little while for that cell to actually start heating up, unless it's a dead short, which you're gonna be able to catch right away, as it's gonna really start getting hot really quickly. Then it's gonna take a while, and then you're gonna be able to go and touch them, check them every few hours, and then chuck remove any of the ones that are creating heat, because obviously there's something wrong with those cells. And so I hope this is pretty clear and easy to follow and understand. These are actually pretty amazing. For $3, you can't beat these. They go from 3 volts all the way to 30 volts, and you can assign the lower end voltage and the higher end voltage. $3 on eBay. You gotta wait a couple of weeks for it to come from China. I'm gonna put a link to that in here so that you guys can go check it out. All right, guys. See you guys next time. What's the problem with the jacket?
It's an expensive jacket. It's John Barbados. John Barbados. He's a designer. He designs clothing for men.
But it's made to be worn. This is one of those too good to be worn.
Too good to be worn.